Y'all made it, right? Are we in heaven or is this hell? Where are we? Okay. Now, Rupture Talk had a way of just bringing up so many different things as a therapist I want to discuss. Some of y'all, it brought up the religious trauma you're trying to heal from, anxiety. Some of y'all looking for a connection any way, anywhere now that maybe this connected to you. But we're going to get into it all from a therapist perspective right about now. Now, Rupture Talk. Okay. The world was supposed to end how many times at this point? Y2K. Then we had the Mayan calendar. We also have now 2025, the rupture was supposed to happen, but apparently it's not. Okay. Now, if it was really going to happen, why didn't it happen 9 months ago? Okay. Because are we living in heaven or is this really hell that we're living in? Okay. But Rupture Talk took over for a couple days, and we are living in a society where we are trapped in groupthink. And with Rupture TikTok, the world was going to end. You have people selling their houses, believing that as of September 25th, or was it Wednesday? I don't even know no more. Everybody making up their own date to when the world was going to end. But let's get into it from a therapist perspective. Now, I found the initial person, Dr. Dan. And Dr. Dan to me is pretty problematic. And we're going to get into it, but let's watch his video. Make sure you hit that like and y'all subscribe.
Was created in the 19th century based on a misunderstanding of a passage from the New Testament. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. And this concept begins with John Nelson Darby around 1833. And he's developing an idea about what the second coming is going to be like based on a triangulation of a number of different passages from places like Daniel and the Gospels. But his main text is 1 Thessalonians 4:17, which talks about how the dead are going to be resurrected as Christ descends, and those who are alive will be snatched or caught up with them in the clouds to meet Jesus in the air and be with him forever. And according to Darby, this is some sudden event that is then going to result in everybody being taken off to heaven. And this fundamentally misunderstands the imagery that Paul is using. Paul's reference to this meeting, the word there is panthesis, is a reference to a specific convention from the Greco-Roman world.
Now, this guy posted this, I believe, in February, that a rupture was coming. Okay, he posted this February 29th of last year, actually. And so it's interesting how I feel like people use religion to have power over people. People lean on religion for support, but people pick and choose, okay, when it comes to religion. But this whole rapture situation to me as a therapist is really crazy to me because it shows you just how I think people are looking for something to lean on to take the pain away, while for other people, it provoked a lot of anxiety. Now, he goes on to talk more about this and where it came from.
Where a Roman ruler would return triumphantly to a city, and as he's approaching, the inhabitants of the city would all file outside the city walls to meet him and then usher him into the city. It's similar to the triumphal entry of Jesus described in the Gospels. And so Paul is reorienting this idea vertically and suggesting that as Jesus descends from the heavens, people are going to be caught up to meet him in the clouds and not go off to heaven, but then descend back to earth so that Jesus can take up his rule on earth. So Darby fundamentally misunderstood what was going on there and developed this idea about everybody suddenly being snatched up and flying off to heaven. And that became pretty popular within Protestant Christianity for a while.
Yes, this is definitely Christianity TikTok. Okay. I don't know what it is about that side TikTok that luckily I have not come across it, but it seems like people just decide to speak upon things, use religion as the forefront, as the foundation, and it creates chaos. It created so much chaos that people were giving up property. The sign that I'm gonna sell my house. Okay, these are the last days I'm gonna be with my children. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Okay, what are we doing? Are we that lost? Why right now would Jesus decide to come back? To see who? Donald Trump? Okay. What would be the purpose of it now compared to 5 years ago, 6 years ago? But I think this to me provoked a lot of anxiety for people. And if you are someone healing from religious trauma, it probably took you back to a time where you were trying to heal from and not go back there. So let's watch a little bit more of these Rapture talk folks. Okay.
Today. But I feel like I need to. I've been sitting trying to take my mind off of everything because I'm becoming overwhelmed with what's to come. And I think it's really hitting me that we are going.
Now, if you ain't already overwhelmed by the dumpster fire that we are living in, let me know what you drinking, what you're smoking, what you're taking. Because right now the world is on fire. And if you feel like if you're not feeling it, like I said, what you're smoking, what you're drinking, because everywhere you go, you see that more and more it's intense. And I don't know if this is a distraction. I don't know if this was a thing for people to hang on to as some kind of light to help them see, okay, maybe Jesus Christ will return and take away my pain, my children's pain.
Going home. And I am so sad for those who are not going with us.
How you decide who gonna go, who not gonna go? Is this an episode of Paradise?
For the last couple days, I've been feeling this sadness mixed with this excitement. Once I started understanding the severity of the situation, of how many people are going to be left behind. And I feel like part of this thing that I'm feeling is the Lord's grieving. That he is so sad that so many people will not listen to him, will not heed the warning, that are mocking and scoffing at the signs and the wonders that he's providing, like the Bible tells us he would, in order to bring those people to him before it's too late. I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. Saints, please share the gospel. Please keep posting videos. Please keep talking to people, even if they make fun of you, even if they persecute you, even if it costs us our life. We have to do this. Because whether he's coming at Feast of Trumpets or he's coming after that, he is coming very quickly and the time is running out. It's such a joyous thing for us. But think of all these people.
For us. For us. Not us. For us. And I feel for the people who are not coming with us. Okay. It feels like it's another separation of only some of us would have been taken. Another divisive division. Okay. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, is there any escaping the divisiveness? Is there any escaping that us against them? You know, even in the way she's speaking, it's supposed to be all Christ-like, and Christ is supposed to love everybody, but the us, over and over again, the us. And I feel like this apocalyptic, I can never say some of these words. The end of the world. These niches, these little conversations, these, I don't know, a subclass of people is starting to become very popular. I don't know if it became more popular after Trump to have these, discussions and, with TikTok, it's like you can see these end of time narratives often surface during global crises. And depending on how you look at it, we are in a global crisis, pandemics, wars, political unrest. TikTok amplifies those fears. And I think that people who already fear and have anxiety based off of the election, based off of things happening in life, fear of their kids going outside, fear of guns, different things. TikTok can be used for good, but I think it can also be used to spread misinformation and harm people's mental health. As we were seeing in a lot of these videos, it's this narrative that amplifies people's fears. So many people are already living in fear of the Trump regime. There's so much hate out there. There's so much rhetoric that continues to keep people divided. And I feel like this whole end of times narrative is only going to have people go further and further away, and it harms people's mental health. Okay. There are a lot of people who were raised in high controlled, fear-based religious environments. And I think people who have watched this or seen this could have taken them right back there to where they're trying to heal from and escape. But people don't think about that. They just think about, oh, let me make this video. Let me put out there that this is on my heart. We're not all going to make it, but some of us will. Okay, some of us will. But this rupture talk has created rupture anxiety. The constant exposure can lead to obsessive thoughts, nightmares, hypervigilance. And there are already people living with heightened anxiety, depression, PTSD from religion, from the stuff they're seeing on the news. We're inundated with misinformation, truth, and then all these different narratives. And I feel like in the news nowadays, it's hyper focused on exposing people's fears and perpetuating a narrative based off the back of people's fears. Over and over, we get news. These little computers we have in our hands all day is information, which leads to doom scrolling and the doom scrolling effect. Endless videos referencing catastrophic thinking, leaving viewers stuck in a fear loop. And I feel like this woman and a lot of other content creators around this whole rupture talk only perpetuated fear. Now, I know there's a couple videos out there of people who, let me see if I can find any of them, like people who decide to sell their houses and stuff like that.
Send my goodbyes to my family because Jesus is coming back tomorrow is my whole For You page. If you are scared, that's okay. But as a Christian, let me tell you why that's not happening tomorrow and why you're okay. For starters, the rapture is not and will never be planned out for humans to know. That's not something we will ever know. Ever. Period. Second of all, most importantly, if it causes you fear, anxiety, depression, that's not from God. If a word of God causes you fear, anxiety, or depression in any aspect of your life, that's from something deceiving you, not God, because God will never, ever, ever cause you fear, anxiety, or depression. Okay, so knowing that, let's take a step back. Rapture is scary, right? We hear the rapture's coming back. God told me that the rapture's coming back. Let me spread this rumor. That's from Satan. I'm sorry, but it is.
This woman got some tips.
Rapture trip tips. I recommend you go out and buy a couple fresh packs of undies to wear for the next month. Throw all the old underwear away. Imagine after you've been harpazoed, your clothes float back down. You don't want someone's last impression of you to be your old underwear. Paul should have said, may your whole body, soul, and spirit and underwear be without blemish until the coming of the Lord. Rapture trip tip.
Oh God, y'all, of all the things. Oh, I like this little picture. No thanks. I'm American. This really has to be the picture of these last 9 months. Shit, maybe the last 5 years. No, thank you. I'm American. I don't need a brain. We all have one brain, right? And that one brain is at the top of this election when we call him the president. Okay, we don't all need individual brains. We just have one brain. Okay? One brain. But really, And then the people who were selling their homes based off of something someone said on TikTok. I wonder where them people are. The ones who sold their houses. Okay. What else she got to say?
Rapture trip tip number 5. When you finally start moving up into the air, I recommend that you don't hold on to anything. I definitely don't recommend looking down. I think we learned that lesson from Lot's wife. Okay. Just keep calm, take a deep breath, slowly release it, and keep your face looking upwards. And pray you're not on the toilet.
And you notice that whenever this, this kind of stuff happens, and then, oh, we're still here. It didn't happen. Private. Comments off. Private. Okay, private. But we have to stop, I think, having so much access to information at times. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that we put the phones down. Too many people are quick to just pick up their phones. And people lay in the bed and they doom scroll. You watch a little bit of a video, and now I'll probably have more of these videos on my feed because they're like, "Oh, you like this? Let's feed you more." I don't want to be part of the Rupture TikTok. Okay, I have my own brain. I have my own mind. Okay. But as a therapist, I see how all this could have compounded the anxiety, the depression you already have. And I want to remind people that TikTok is an algorithm, not a profit. TikTok is an algorithm, not a profit. It feeds what we engage with, which means as people start to pick up and watch these videos and they saw more people feeding into it. Another thing is that a lot of these creators made money off these videos of pushing y'all into a fear corner, pushing fear onto y'all, pushing anxiety onto people. Yeah, they made lots of money. Okay. I want to encourage people to focus on their own values, their own relationships, and find joy in small things that they can do every day. Not about the apocalypse, okay? And for some people, Rupture content brings comfort, which is kind of sad. Comfort and community. It feels like preparation or faith practice. And I say all the time in my videos, people nowadays are looking for connection. Looking for connection in any type of place. And for a lot of people, since they don't have connection in their real lives, they create these spaces online. While for other people, it causes panic, distress, and doubt. We don't need anything else coming along and making people fearful to go outside, fearful to live their lives. More and more of this stuff is popping up, and it's only going to create fear. Okay?
Rapture trip tips. I recommend you go out and buy a couple fresh packs of undies to wear for the next month. Throw all the old underwear away. Imagine after you've been herpositive.
Now, was this supposed to just happen in America? What about other places? I wonder what happened when she had to show up for work after the rupture didn't happen. Okay. Y'all, where are we living now? What is going on in the world? Are we that lost? I wonder, do other countries look at America and think about, like, y'all are a joke. Y'all really a joke. Okay. But there are a lot of people trying to heal from religious trauma and how these people that they're seeing in these TikTok videos, putting these messages out there, are the same people they had to deal with as children, as mothers, fathers, people within the church telling them being gay was a sin, telling them you only have to follow the Bible, telling them to pray it away. Pray away the depression, pray away the anxiety, pray away the gay, pray away the trans. these people who are like us are going to be swept away, and that they feel bad for the people who aren't. And I'm wondering if those people who aren't, are they minorities? Are they people who feel like are not following God's lead? But we are still here. Okay? We are still here. We are 9 months into this. And we got like what? 3.5, 4 more years of this. But I want to caution you guys in what you feed your brains, what you are seeing on social media, what you are doom scrolling. Put down the phone. Live a little bit. Don't let the things that you are seeing on your feed stop you from experiencing joy. Stop you from living a little bit. There is life outside of Rupture talk. Outside of all the sad things we hear about, we see, there's life out there. And I want to encourage you to go outside and live a little bit. Don't let the fear control you. Okay? Now, what did you get from this Rupture talk? Okay, did it provoke some anxiety? All right. Regardless of what the internet predicts, you have power over your life to live today. And that is my message today. You have power. Recognize what you have power in. Let go of what you don't have power in. Okay? What are the facts in front of you compared to what your brain is trying to trick you into believing? Hold on to that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.